Hi and welcome back to my channel. This is Lisa. If you're new here, I go by The Real Lisa Turtle, and I want to welcome you guys to my channel, or welcome back if you are an oldie but a goodie. Today we are going to be answering some questions about weight loss surgery. I talk about how long it's been for me, what I can eat, when I can eat it, how much I've lost, etc. You guys submitted your questions on my Instagram, and yeah, we go through and answer the questions, and I do my makeup, and this is the look. I didn't get to do too much detail into it because my camera cut off midway, but if you want to see an in-depth tutorial where I go step by step as to how I got my makeup like this, please leave a comment below and I will definitely film that for you guys. So let's get into the video. Thank you so much for watching. Basically, I'm just gonna do a regular face that I would normally do like on a regular day, nothing crazy, but I figure I'll do that instead. I was gonna do this mukbang style, but I didn't want to, you guys have to sit there and watch me eat, and I wouldn't eat that much anyway, and we'll talk about that. So these questions, there's about 20, I want to say, maybe. I'm not going to really put them in any kind of order. I'm just going to answer them as I wrote them down. And I'm pretty sure I'll answer it multiple times, the same question, because I got it a lot. The first one is, can you eat more now than when you first had surgery? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. So I had surgery 5 years ago. It will be 5 years on my birthday, December 16th, which is in like 2 weeks, I think. So that'll be my 5-year surgery, as they call it. Yeah, so it'll be 5 years, and yeah, I mean, I can eat a lot more than I could when I first, had the surgery, because when you first have it, your restriction is the tightest it will ever be. So you can barely even drink anything at that point. I remember like everybody saying to drink Pedialyte and stuff, and like I had bought a bunch, and I bought popsicles, and like I could barely make it through any of that. Like the hotel where we stayed afterwards had like a VSG patient like dinner thing, and it was just like chicken broth and like liquids, and like you got like a popsicle or whatever, and like I had maybe a sip of chicken broth. So I mean, definitely I can eat a lot more now. I can eat, I mean, I don't know how to give you an example, but like I remember talking to the surgeon that did my surgery, and his wife had it, and he told me how after so many years she could eat a whole hamburger, and I never forgot that. And I remember getting to that point. So yeah, I mean, I can eat a whole burger now, if that is any reference point. I can usually eat like a whole slice of pizza. I don't know, like I can eat like 2 tacos or Taco Bell. But yeah, I definitely can eat a lot more being 5 years out. And I don't know if that's just the natural, stretching of your stomach, or what exactly that's from. But I mean, I'm grateful, because I definitely, I'm definitely a lot smaller than I had thought I would ever get. And I attribute that to not being able to eat so much, obviously, even now. The next question is, what is the key to keeping weight off / continuing to lose after weight loss surgery? The key, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. That there's no key. I don't think there's a magic, solution to it. Personally, I try not to like always talk about what I did, because I didn't do anything specific. I didn't follow a certain eating plan. I didn't, I wasn't keto. I didn't do anything like that. If anything, I should have done better than what I did. I kind of just ate what my stomach agreed with, and that was that. Like if I ate it and it sat well and I didn't throw up, or I didn't get stomach ache or diarrhea, immediately after, I'd be like, okay, I can eat this. And then I would just continue to eat those things. So yeah, I mean, I think the key is just not falling back into old habits, which is very difficult, because the surgery is a physical tool. It is a physical solution to the physical side of the problem that you have, which is you can't get rid of excess fat. So physically they go in and they cut out your stomach and now you can't eat as much and you know, but mentally it does nothing. I mean, if anything, it can heighten unsolved issues that you may already have or that you didn't think you had or didn't think were as big of a deal as, you know, as they are. Especially like emotional eating and all that stuff. Like that's the biggest struggle, I would say, for most people who, you know, battle with obesity, is the emotional side and the benefits that come from overeating, you know, because I mean, honestly, there's benefits or we wouldn't do it. You know, the food tastes good, it feels good, it makes you feel good. So, you know, you can't deny that part of it. But definitely I say consistency, you know, just constantly reminding yourself where you came from is key to, you know, keeping the weight off. Because I know for me, I'm not the stellar example of what to do. I, you know, like I said, I didn't follow any program, and there's probably a lot of things that I ate or there's probably things that I've eaten or continue to eat now that I probably shouldn't, and I know that, you know. But again, like I said, I eat and have eaten what sits well with me and what my stomach agrees with. So that's not necessarily always the best things, but I haven't gained, and I know that's not the best way to gauge your success, but I don't gain. It doesn't matter. Like, so I think it's because volume-wise, I'm not eating a lot. It may be high in you know, calories or whatever, but I'm not eating a lot of it because I can't, you know. That's just, I'm not a nutritionist. Don't hold me to any of this stuff. Next question kind of goes into the one we just talked about. Eating after 5 years, what do I eat? So I can eat pretty much anything at this point. I can have pretty much anything that I had before surgery. And some of the same things that I kind of had food aversions to before, I still have now. And some new ones as well. Like I can't eat seafood. I don't know if it's an aversion or an allergy. I'm kind of afraid to find out because I haven't eaten it because I'm terrified if, like, you know, am I gonna break out in hives or like what's gonna happen? So yeah, that's definitely something I steer clear of. But for now, like a typical day of eating, like if I have food in the house and I have something to cook or whatever, I try to eat breakfast, but I'm not a breakfast food fan. And I'm usually not very hungry first thing in the morning, especially now that I've discovered coffee. I usually have that as like my breakfast, which is not the best, but it works for me. It does fill me up, so I, you know, kind of go a while without eating, but then I'll have like a bigger meal in the afternoon, like early afternoon if I can. And again, it'll be whatever I have access to. So like if, for example, if I wasn't going to work that day and I'm home and there's something to eat, I would eat that, or I'll make something, like I'll have oatmeal or eggs and toast. I've been really into bagels lately with cream cheese. It's literally just a craving, but it fills me up. It's a lot for me. And again, I also have like 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day. I'm not proud of that. I'm trying to come back from that, but I like it. It tastes good to me. It makes me feel good, you know, and it gives me that kind of comfort that probably what overeating used to do for me. So, and then I'll eat whatever we have for dinner, like, you know, spaghetti or like, you know, chicken with rice and a vegetable, something like that. And I can usually finish my plate, but I serve myself pretty, you know, smaller than normal. I try to. Sometimes I forget and I'm like, who's eating all this, you know? But yeah, I think that I can eat pretty balanced. If I were to like plan out my meals, I probably could eat all 3 meals in a day with time in between, you know. Next question. How did you decide between VSG and bypass? I want to say it wasn't necessarily a decision that I made. I just didn't really look into bypass. Like when I discovered this whole thing and wanted, you know, and started researching it, the person that I found out, you know, that this surgery existed, she had it and I followed her. She had VSG, so like I didn't even look into anything else. I knew what gastric bypass was because back in the day when I was like still in high school, I knew a lady who had gastric bypass, and I started researching it because of her, but that was like years and years ago, and that was back when I think I was on my parents' health insurance and they weren't gonna pay for it, so that was that. I researched it, got a no, and I stopped. I want to say I was like 18 or 19, so I might even have like been out of high school, but I was still living at home, so I still would have been under my parents' insurance. So yeah, it's not anything like specific that I chose VSG over bypass. It's just when like I said, when I rediscovered surgery in general, it was the sleeve. So that's what that's what I went after, because, I found that would be what I needed to, to help me. Next question is negative side effects. Negative, okay, I don't want to say that word, because I don't feel like any of what I've dealt with since I've had surgery is negative at all. It's all positive, because it's better than being obese. So now, like some side effects that maybe I wasn't anticipating and that maybe we'll say are a little uncomfortable, definitely there are, they exist and are very real in my life still, even 5 years out. Like I still get like GERD, I guess is what it's called, where like you eat. For me, I think it's either eating too fast or what I'm eating at the time. So like rice, it happens a lot when I eat rice, and I don't know if it's because it's so sticky that it just kind of like clumps up and makes me like, but I get this immediate like feeling, okay, I'm gonna throw up, I need a toilet now. And usually it's not even, sorry, this is really TMI, but if you're here still, you really want to know this stuff. It's usually not even the food, it's like a phlegm, like a big wad of phlegm. It's really gross. But then I immediately feel better after I get that out. So it's weird, but it's definitely not, it doesn't happen all the time. It's something that is very, like I said, usually happens with rice, and I can usually anticipate that it's going to happen if I eat rice. So it's like a risk that I take. Next question is, are you afraid to gain? And that is definitely a fear that I had when I first had the surgery, and probably for the first 2 or 3 years. Because I did gain. I would fluctuate a few times, and it would scare the shit out of me, because I'm like, uh-oh, like I messed something up, my sleeve is broken, whatever, or I'm like, just I thought maybe I was like some weird random case that was just, I'm destined to be fat, so I'm gonna gain it back. I don't feel that way anymore. And it's mainly because I've been kind of plateaued or stable at this weight for a while. And I mean, like over a year, over probably 2 years now. So I don't really get too worried about gaining weight anymore, because it just doesn't happen. And I feel like my body is kind of finally at the weight where I was always supposed to be. So I'm just kind of stabilized. Like I fluctuate like 5 to 6 pounds. So like I'll get down to 155, and then I'll be back up to 160, and then 162, and then back down to 159. Like I go back and forth. So it definitely, at this point, I would say that's stable. But yeah, so no, I don't feel that anymore. Like I don't feel like worried about what I eat, or like worried about the number on the scale. If anything, I get on the scale because it shocks me now, in a good way, because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was that small. Like, because I don't weigh myself ever. Unless there's a scale, then I do. But usually no. So no, I'm not afraid to gain. That's the answer to that question. Next one, did your friendships change once you started losing weight? Yes and no. I actually gained a friend. I gained a few friends during this process. So that's what I would rather focus on than what I lost, aside from just the weight. But you can call it dead weight. I lost that for sure. But no, they didn't change. If anything, I built some really good, long-lasting bonds with people because of weight loss because I was able to connect with other women that, you know, went through similar struggles as me. And, you know, we were able to build, you know, a friendship based off of that. And just having somebody that has experienced it with, you know, the same as you and understands the things that you deal with, you know, daily because of the decision that you made. Like, it's comforting, and it definitely has aided in, you know, the process of all of this healing from being morbidly obese and blaming yourself and all that, and to meet people who feel the same about themselves and they're still here, they're still pushing through, you know, it gives you a little bit of motivation. So they changed. Yes, my friendships changed for the better. I gained more friends, and yeah, it definitely trumps what I've lost. Yeah. Next question. Did you work out, and how often? Yes and no. I didn't work out consistently. I would say I did for maybe 6 months, and then I just stopped. But when I was going consistently, I did go 4 to 5 days a week. I would try to go 4 to 5 days a week. Are you still trying to lose is the next question. No, I do not want to lose anymore, especially being where I'm at now, where I am waiting and trying to figure out how to get my skin removed. I don't want to get any smaller because, you know, I don't feel comfortable being any smaller than where I am now. It's like, okay, I hit the mark, you know, I did the 200 pounds, that was the goal. I mean, it wasn't the goal at first, but the closer I got to it, I'm like, it's probably what's gonna happen. So yeah, no, I'm good on losing weight. If anything, now I would like to just build muscle, you know, maybe even gain like 5 or 10 pounds, just a good, you know, solid, healthy weight. Because I don't necessarily want to be this small. I don't mind being thicker, but I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. I don't want to be just jiggling and just to jiggle. No, snatched and fit is the goal. That's it. Next question. Have you done anything to help your loose skin? No, just complain about it. I mean, there really isn't anything to do at this point. It's a lot, and it's not, there's nothing I can do at this point aside from getting it surgically removed. You know, that's just where I am. And I don't want that to be, because I talk about that a lot on my Instagram, and I feel like, you know, women sometimes have a tendency to let that kind of be their like deciding factor. Like, see, you know, she has a lot of loose skin and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm not going to have the surgery. And I want you guys to know that, like, I would do the surgery 5-6 million more times. I don't regret it. I don't regret having all this skin, nothing, because I know that it's not forever. Just like the weight wasn't forever. I didn't know it at the time, you know, obviously. But had I known then what I know now, I would have had surgery, you know what I mean, hella long ago. Like, come on now. But it wasn't in the cards. That wasn't, you know, my path to this. And I'm cool with that now. But I know better now, so I'm going to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that there are plastic surgeons, well paid, that love what they do and are very good at what they do. And, you know, I just got to come up with the how. How am I going to do it, you know? It's not even when, how. Like, that's how confident I am that I'm going to make this happen some way, somehow. You know, I don't know when, but soon, hopefully. And, you know, it's going to happen. You know, there's nothing, I can work out and I want to work out, but my reasons for working out now are different. Like, it's not anything I can do at this point to, you know, reverse the skin. Like, it's just there. So I can build muscle and I can, you know, build myself up cardiovascularly or whatever and get better, you know, get healthier, have more endurance, be able to do things that I couldn't do. That's the goal, you know, for now, until I get the skin off. And then it's going to be to build some bomb ass muscles and just be out here fit and strong. Like, that's the goal after the skin, you know? Okay, next question. Do I miss food, and how long did that feeling last? I don't miss food. It's hard to explain this. I don't miss food because food is what got me here. Food is what contributed to, you know, me having to change, you know, alter my life and, you know, live a life that I didn't want to live. So no, in that respect, no, I don't miss food. I miss being able to eat, because now that I know that I can use food to benefit me and it doesn't have to have that pleasure attached to it anymore. I can just use it to fuel my body. I can't eat as much now. And it's like I need to eat a little, you know what I mean? Like I have to have a certain amount of protein per day, a certain amount of fat, a certain amount of this. And it's like I physically cannot do it now. And that part is a little frustrating for me, because it's like, damn, again, you know, like when you know better, you do better. And I know better now. So now I see all these, you know, eating plans or whatever. And I'm like, I can barely finish, you know, the one plate of food. And to me, that's a triumph for the day. If I finish a whole plate of food, you're telling me I need to do that 4 times a day and have a gallon of water? Like, where am I putting all of this, you know? And it's a little frustrating on that side, like, you know, but I don't miss the taste of food because I can still eat it. You know, I can still indulge in my own way. I just can't overindulge. I can overindulge in certain things, but like I will get sick. I will get physically sick. Too much sugar will make me sick. Like it happens. So like if it's something that I really like cheesecake, I can have a slice of cheesecake and I'm good. That's enough. I'm, you know, craving satisfied, check it off the list, you know, whereas before the sleeve, I would have to go through a few slices before I would hit that, you know, have that feeling. So, no, I don't miss food because I can still eat it, but I miss being able to eat more, you know, volumes of food because now I can make better decisions about it. So it's just a little frustrating. My experience getting VSG in Mexico, I have a whole video about this on my channel, which I will link somewhere here in the video for you guys, or in the description box for sure. But just really quickly, if you haven't seen that video, I'll just, my experience was positive. I don't have any regrets doing it the way that I did it. Like I said, I'd do my surgery a million times over again if I had to. So yeah, it was positive. They were very professional. There was nothing, you know, like looking back on it in hindsight, there was nothing that, you know, was weird or that I look back on and I'm like, oh, that was, you know, nothing, like absolutely nothing. They were professional, friendly. I mean, just very knowledgeable about, you know, the whole process. They made me feel comfortable. I mean, it was great. There was nothing that I could say, you know, negative about it. So I definitely recommend it. I do know that the doctor that I saw, I believe he opened up his own practice now, so he kind of runs the whole show and he's got other surgeons underneath him. So I'll leave his information in the description box as well, his website, his Facebook. He's active on Facebook. You can talk to him. He will respond to you. So it's pretty nice to be able to kind of ask them questions, you know, just for your own peace of mind and clarification. So, but yeah, Mexico is amazing. I have nothing bad to say about Mexico. Next question, did you ever hit a plateau? At what weight, and what did you do to push through? So I definitely hit many plateaus, as will you if you have this surgery. It's just kind of part of the game. I don't really know why it happens, and I'm pretty sure there's probably some information out there in the world about it. I'm gonna look it up just for my own, because I want to know. But yeah, I had them a lot. Like, I don't remember exactly what weight. That's hard for me to remember. I can remember being really frustrated because of them, because they come and they go, and like I would feel like I wasn't gonna lose any weight, you know, because the whole thing about a plateau or a stall, that's what they call it in the weight loss surgery community, a stall, is you go, you know, a while without losing weight. And for us, you know, we're used to losing weight rapidly for the first time ever. And by rapidly, I mean, you know, 10, 20 pounds in a week. Like I remember being 16 pounds lighter when I got back from having my surgery. So I had my surgery on a Monday. We came back to, we landed in Pennsylvania on that following Saturday, and I was down 16 pounds. So yeah, that kind of weight loss. You know what I'm saying? After years and years of not losing any weight. So when you hit a stall, it's very hard because, you know, you have stopped losing weight at that point for maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month. Mine never lasted more than like 2 or 3 weeks. So I guess that's pretty good. I don't know. But it's frustrating. And as far as what did I do to push through? I literally would complain and cry and be freaking out. And then I was really big in the weight loss surgery community groups, like on Facebook, which I recommend for anybody, because that's where I met a lot of, you know, really, really beautiful women. I made a lot of friends in that group that I still have to this day, that we still keep in touch. So one way or another, you know. So I would just, you know, I would read through their experiences and, you know, talk to a few of them, and they would give me tips like, oh, try this, try that. Usually it was like, try to do like a reset for your stomach, like where you just kind of do liquids for a couple days or whatever, just to kind of jump start it, try to drink a lot of water, exercise, all that. So I would try them here and there, but I honestly just think that they would just stop when they stopped. And, you know, and then the thing about a stall is after you would hit it, you know, after your stall would be over, you would lose a lot. Like all the weight that you were kind of holding on to for a while, it's gonna come off, and then some. So it was kind of like a kind of bittersweet, like you're like, damn it, like I'm not losing for however long, but you kind of knew after having a few of them, you would know like, okay, it's gonna come off eventually. But I would freak out, honestly. Like I would freak out and think that, you know, I was done losing, and you know, this is after I've only lost, you know, 50 or 60 pounds, and that's a lot. Like I was, you know, happy about that, but it's like, damn, this ain't it. Like I'm not ready to stop yet. Is it risky getting surgery in Mexico? I'm gonna say yes, because surgery is risky regardless. I mean, it's not, you know, a simple, you know, outpatient procedure type thing. Like it's major surgery with, you know, anesthesia and all that. So, you know, surgery on its own is risky. But no, I don't believe, you know, based on my experience, that it's risky because I went to Mexico. Not at all. I think you can have the same complications anywhere. And I think that research has kind of shown us that lately, especially now that this is way more popular than, you know, it has been in the past. I just think, you know, you have to do your research, definitely. And, you know, it's about what makes you comfortable. Okay, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. My phone stopped recording. It was a mess, but I'm back. I went ahead and did my foundation. I finished my eyes off camera just to save time, because this video is already super long. So I'm trying to keep it so you're not here for an hour, because you know me. But I believe the last question that I was talking about was was it risky getting surgery in Mexico? And I was saying that surgery in general is risky no matter where you go. But my experience was amazing. I don't have any hesitations in, you know, encouraging you to also have your surgery in Mexico. The next question is, how long did the procedure take from beginning to end? So from beginning to end, I want to say it took about 5 hours. And I'm not exactly sure if that's true, because I was kind of out of it. Like, you know, beforehand, I was just really anxious and nervous. So I don't really remember like details of that actual day. And then afterwards I was drugged. So, you know, I really don't remember. But I want to say about, yeah, like maybe 5 to 6 hours. And that's from the time that, you know, I showed up at the hospital, did all my like pre-op stuff, like blood work, and got hooked up to the, you know, EKG and all that stuff. And so the next question then is, how much was surgery? So the total cost for me was about $5,500. That is including the extra that I paid because my BMI was over 60, I think. Don't quote me. I'm gonna put the accurate information in the description bar because I'm not exactly sure if that's what it was. Mine was really high though, so, and they charge more for that because I guess you're like higher risk when you have a higher BMI. Your BMI is your body mass index. It's like how much fat you have per how big your body is, or something. I don't know, something like that. But it's like how much fat you have, and that's what kind of supposedly regulates whether you're average, athletic, obese, morbidly obese, etc. So mine was really, really high. It was above 35 or something like that. So I got charged more, and it wasn't like me personally. That's just how they did it at the facility. Like, it's just, you know, I guess a precaution for them to cover themselves because you're higher risk. So $5,500, that included your recovery. Like, so you spent 2 nights in the hospital immediately after your surgery. Then the rest of it spent in their like recovery, which is like a hotel, which is very close to the hospital, where they have the nurses come and check on you. And at that point, you're good. Like, you don't need a lot of aftercare. Like, you don't need an IV or anything like that. The only thing you have is a drain, which they take out before you leave the hospital. So that doesn't even, you know, that doesn't even need any really like aftercare either. So you're pretty good after the fact. I was, at least. I was able to get up, walk around, all kinds of stuff. So I didn't have any like major setbacks, or I wasn't in a lot of pain. I wasn't very uncomfortable. I was good, actually. The next question is shapewear. That's all I wrote down. So I'm assuming you guys want to know what shapewear I wear now, I imagine. But it's the same one that I've always worn, that I did a video on, the shaper from Shop Yahaira. And it's I think it's the Happy Butt number something. I'm not sure. I'll put it in the description box for sure, so you guys can check it out. And I'll link that video. I still wear the same one. I just have to wear a small now because I've lost so much more weight since I did that video. And again, I'm not trying to lose weight. It's just how my body is reacting, I guess, to life and stress. But yeah, it's not something that I'm like intentionally doing, you know. Next question is, how did I know I was ready? I feel like I've always been ready. I don't remember a time in my life where I wasn't ready for surgery. This I did have to kind of get ready for, though, in a sense, where I had to, you know, do different things like prepare for the surgery. So in a literal sense, yes, I got ready for it, but mentally I've been ready for this my whole life. I mean, since I've struggled with, you know, my weight, it's always been something that, a step that I knew I wouldn't hesitate to take, you know? So I had to prepare myself for, you know, like for literally getting it done. Like, I'm like, oh, that was harder, I guess. That was, you know, like getting ready to actually do it after so many years of desiring it and wanting it so bad. And I finally got to do it. So that was like, it blew my mind, literally. Like, I couldn't believe it. Sometimes I still can't believe that I did it, you know, and that I'm here. The last question is hair loss. And this question is always hard to answer because I chopped my hair off, like, I want to say like my second year after having VHG. I cut all my hair off. My best friend at the time, Marcus, he's a stylist, and I went to him and, you know, I was just like, let's go for it. Let's cut it off. I don't really remember if we had been talking about it leading up to that, or if it was a spontaneous decision. Again, I was, you know, especially during that time, I was going through a lot in my relationship. So I don't remember. Everything is very blurry for me, like, because there's a lot of trauma and a lot of things that were happening at the time that little details like slip my mind, you know. But so I'm not sure if it's something that I had, like, you know, like been going back and forth with him, like, should I do it, or did I just like one day was like, let's just cut it off. But anyway, that's what happened. We cut it off and I started over. I got started fresh. That is all of the questions. I'm just gonna say a few more tips, things that maybe you want to know about this whole surgery thing, and then I'm gonna finish off my lips, and then I'm all done. I'm just gonna spray with Mario rose water, and I'm gonna fan that off. So yeah, at this point, I believe that my weight loss has kind of stabilized, and I won't really be losing any more fat. I think I'm done because I haven't lost any more beyond where I've been, which was my smallest, which was when I was sick. So I can't really even say that that was fat loss. I was sick and I hadn't eaten for days because I was that sick. And so I got on the scale and I was like, oh shit, like I don't want to be that small in an unhealthy way, you know? So that was a little bit of a like, okay, Lisa, you need to eat a little bit more, you know, make up for all that weight that you lost while you were sick. But I think that once I have the skin off of me, you know, it'd be easier for me to tell, obviously, where I would like to stay as far as like my weight, and, you know, whether I want to be slim thick or thick thick. I don't know. What I do know is that I'm very excited to have breasts, boobs. That's like the one thing that I'm the most excited about, because that's not something that I had naturally. Like my boobs were just big because I was overweight, and then they got bigger when I was pregnant, and that was it, you know. So once I lost the weight, they were gone. So it would be nice to have some, you know, some tiggles. Okay, I went ahead and finished my liner off camera because I couldn't do it. It was just trying to talk and do liner is just not cute. So right now I'm just trying to figure out financially how I'm gonna afford to get this surgery done. I don't know who I'm gonna go to, whether it's gonna be here in the States or abroad. So far, if it is abroad, it's looking like Mexico again, which is just coincidence, not planned at all. So that's where I'm at with that. This is my finished face. This is what I would do kind of on a daily, like, hey, we're just going whatever. I ain't really trying too hard. I don't like to do too much as far as shadow these days. It's just not me. I like my face a certain way, you know? And I like the, just kind of that snatched, but not too much look, whatever that's called, a daytime slay, they say, I don't know. But yeah, and then I just have my hair in a ponytail, you know, edges, whatever. I didn't do my sideburns today because it makes me break out, so I just wanted to have nothing. But yeah, this would be every day, just a quick little slay. And that is everything as far as the questions for the weight loss surgery. Like I said, just to kind of recap, it will be 5 years on December 16th. And yeah, 5 years is crazy. Shout out to whoever's been here since the beginning. Like, please comment below if you've been here since like one of my first videos. I would love to just hear what you have to say, because it's just crazy to me that like y'all are down for me like that, and I appreciate that. Okay, well, that wraps up this video. I hope that all of the questions that you guys had, I was able to touch on at least one of them. If not, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, or DM me on Instagram, and maybe we can do a round two about, you know, any other questions you guys have, some more deeper things. I don't know. You know, I'm definitely open to having dialogue with you guys. So let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. And also, let me know if you want to see more makeup tutorials like this, if you would like me to do an in-depth tutorial where I'm actually talking about the products and telling you what I'm using. Definitely let me know, because I was going to do that with this, but it was going to be way too long. So I can go through and talk about what I use and why and when and all that. So let me know if that's something you want to see. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.